Well, hey, Next Gen Matters. I have the honor and privilege to introduce to you two ladies in my life, and I have a few, they're all relatives, don't worry, that mean the world to me. And the first one I'm going to introduce is my wife, Jan.
Hi. Hello. Hi. Hi.
But before Jan was my younger sister. I used to refer to her as my baby sister, but she's in her late 30s now, so she's no longer a baby. Daneal Brown Pizzuto. And I'm going to step out and let them take the show here. But I just wanted to say how honored I am that I know that God has given me her, but also given our family, Daneal, as a student in high school. I had a brand new baby sister. I'm so excited. So I'm out. You guys take the wheel. Here we go.
Awesome. Well, Daneal, welcome to Next Gen Matters. I'm so glad we get to do this. We have worked together in different formats, but we've also, been relatives for a long time. So I am so excited that we get to join in this conversation today, and we just want to welcome those that have joined in with us. But Daneal, I want you to tell a little bit about your background. Just like as far as when did you first start having a ministry heart? At what age did that really work in your life?
I actually had the experience of watching, having my siblings be in the next step of, life, being a little bit older than I was when I was born. I had the experience of watching you and Rich and our other brother who does ministry, and our parents do ministry, and really saw this picture of what it looks like and just how important student ministry is. And I would say I was probably about junior high when I really God started putting this passion in my heart that students can reach their students and their peers in a way that adults can't, and how important and necessary student ministry is. So it was junior high when I really started to connect that and realized that I really wanted to be a part of just leading and encouraging them in the way of just being passionate and loving Jesus and others.
Yeah, and I have seen you serve in the local church since that time as well. I mean, I've known you since you were age like 3 or 4. So, but even when you were a junior higher and I would see you, work in the church ministry, it was so awesome. And so that really just resonates, especially for all of us that are in this conversation today, that there is such a huge ministry to those that are 12, 13, 14, or even younger or older. And so it is so neat. You've been doing then student ministry for how long, as far as, since junior high? So you want to say how long, like not weeks or months, but.
Well, I'd say about 20 years.
20 years, you're in the 2 decades. Okay.
2 decades. Yep.
And you've served in other places, such as you've been in the Midwest, you've been out west, in the southeastern states. You've been a lot of different parts of the country too.
Yes. It's been really neat to see how, students' culture is a little different in each part of the country, but yet their heart and their core is the same. And their needs are the same. And so it's really cool to be able to experience ministry in different locations of the country.
That is so neat. I know your heart has been small groups. I know you do a fabulous job with discipleship. I know you do a fabulous job with leading events and putting things and orchestrating things. In fact, that's what you're doing now, I believe, right? Tell us your role in the church that you're at now.
Yeah, so where I'm on staff, I am the events coordinator and I am the groups coordinator. So all small groups in junior high and high school, I am do junior high school ministry.
Wow. How many students are in your ministry there, junior and senior high?
Yeah, so we are average probably, I would say about 200, 250 high school students and about 100, 120 junior high students. Now, do they attend every week? No, we have this influx of students, and that's what's been really interesting to watch over the last few years. Just students are so busy, and I don't know if you've heard the stat that, adults attend 1.3 times a week, a month is what adults are. We notice our students are pretty about the same every other week. So we have that rotation that they're so busy. They're busier than ever before. So
Yeah.
it's something to think about as we're doing ministry. How can we reach them when they are very busy too?
Yes, that's going to be an awesome another features. I feel like that would be a whole nother NGM
Yeah.
features on the busyness of students.
Yeah.
Let's think back, because that busyness was probably there in February, and I know that you and Peter, who is your husband, he's I guess the student ministry. I don't want to give him the wrong title, but student ministry director and all that. You work well as a team with. You have a lot of volunteer staff. Let me ask that question real quick. How many staff do you have? Maybe you have interns or volunteer staff. Do you have a number of people that work with you?
Yeah, so we have several of us are part-time, and so we have about 6 of us on staff between interns and our part-time staff that do junior high school, and young adults. And then we have probably about 40 to 50 volunteers, and most of those volunteers are small group leaders.
Wow, that's incredible. That's awesome. And that's at Rivers Crossing. You're up in Mason, Ohio. Is that correct?
Sure, right near Kings Island.
Right near Kings Island. So if you want to go down that roller coaster and then go to church the next day, it's awesome. Or all the same day, right? Oh my goodness. So when we look back, because we really want to talk about, let's kind of, before we move forward, let's look back over the last few months. I mean, 2020, and everyone has their own ideas and has gone through so many things. But, if we go back to February, we heard about about COVID, but it was kind of like this thing that was, over in some other country. It may have affected a little bit of people, but it wasn't anything that I think many people thought that it was going to be what we know now.
Right.
So for student ministry, what was your student ministry looking like in February? What were you all doing?
Yeah, so we really, our student ministry, our goal is that we exist to give students the opportunity to become fully engaged followers of Christ. And we do that through our model that we use is we have a tribes. Our student ministry is called Tribes. We call it Tribes Live, and that is once a month that we actually do. It's basically a gospel-centered way for our students to really be able to bring their friends to church and be able to just have that opportunity that's a safe zone. And so it's a huge thing that we do every other month, and that is one of the things I get to do as being a part of events. That is our entryway to get them to kind of come in. Then we connect them with groups, with small groups. And so that is a huge other part. And that is where we really accomplish that goal of really helping students to become fully engaged followers, to take that next step wherever they are on their faith journey. Because we actually have a lot of students who don't know Christ that come, and who atheist, agnostic, anything in between, and then we have students that they've grown up in church or they went to church, that's part of just who they, what they did. And so I would say about 50 to 75% of our students actually do not have another person in their family who is a Christian. Wow. So that is such a huge part of kind of how our ministry runs. And so events and programs was very much a big part of how we did things pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID. Oh, wow. I love that statistic. I love it, love it, love it, because that's kind of my background too. So I love to hear that you were drawing so many people in that may have never heard the gospel. And that they had a place, their tribe, right? The tribes that they could come and be a part and hear the gospel and be discipled, come to know Christ, and have a family. So that's really, really cool. Now we think of March when everything started shutting down. I know for us, and you are a mom of 3 boys, and things started getting crazy. I mean, things are still kind of crazy, even with how do you do school? But especially in March, that shut down and things started shutting down really quick. It was almost like, okay, tomorrow we're shut down, or in a week. And so what did that look like? I mean, you just described some big events and then very much high structure as far as plans for discipleship. So what did that look like? I mean, how did you shut down, and what did it look like at that season? Okay, not
Yeah.
back then.
I mean, we literally Wednesday night we have a youth night every year, once or twice a year, and it's where our students just lead the night, and so incredible and so cool having them, be a part of just trying to reach their friends. And it was so cool, and it was just such a highlight. And then literally that was Wednesday night, and we were all kind of talking a little bit about it, and Thursday all of a sudden, we live in Ohio, got shut down. And it just happened like instantly. And I remember that, just so quickly happened. And I remember thinking, okay, this is not a snow day. Like, this is real. Like, this is real. But I think a lot of us at first felt like, this is like a snow day. We're just having a week, and it's going to be a little different. But we very quickly were like, we got to switch gears and get ready for what is Sunday morning for our junior high, and what is Wednesday night going to look like, very quickly.
Right, because I'm glad you said that, because I think a lot of people thought, oh, this might be then not just a snow day, but maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you thought otherwise, though, right?
Yeah, I was trying to just look big picture. How can this? And I was just trying to get as many podcasts and people who are influencers and leaders within ministry and even outside of ministry, because I think it's important we do that too. But what were they saying and thinking? And I remember listening to one, and somebody cautioned and said, we really need to be thinking, what if this isn't just a month? What if it is a year and a half, 2 years down the road? And so I really, after about a week we were just trying to, I think we were all scrambling. What do we do? How do we switch things really quick? But really just now starting to think, okay, we need to kind of look big picture. What is this going to look like, for a year and a half, 2 years, whatever that looks like.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone started scrambling and learned how to do Zoom calls such as this, and Microsoft Teams, and whatever technology was out there. I think everyone was trying to learn something new and try to survive during that time to stay connected. What did you all use? I mean, I don't think you probably had to shut down. So how did you communicate with the students?
So we tried a couple different things. I think everybody, we were all just trying to figure out what's the most effective, and what seemed to be the most effective would be to use technology, which students are so driven by and are such a huge part of their DNA. So that's how we started out. And we started out just using Instagram, and that's where we would have a time to kind of communicate and have a message. And then we switched into, then went into small groups on Zoom. We then eventually realized that wasn't working. Let's switch to YouTube. So then we did a YouTube program, and then did groups from there.
Okay. So did they adapt pretty well, or did you have a lot of falling out from that? I mean, I know for us, it was very minimal as far as participation. It was just that it wasn't the same. So I don't know. What did it look like for you all?
At first I was thinking this could be great. We can really kind of create this intimate, they're in their homes. Yeah, no. It didn't work that way. Our leaders, I mean, we have top tier leaders that are just amazing volunteers, and they were just doing everything they could to get them to be a part of it and to engage, and it was very minimal engagement.
Wow. Yeah. And I think that we've seen, where that wasn't the end all be all. So where are you at currently? Things have opened up in Ohio, here in Virginia, and elsewhere, different phases, but what are you all doing now currently?
Yeah. So when I'll tell you too, the in-between a little bit of that wasn't working. So that's when as groups coordinator, I really just tried to encourage our students, our win a lot of times looks like how many students can attend a group. And that's not our win now. Our win now is engaging with our students in that one-on-one, which we encourage them to do anyways. But it's really just having that engagement and that connection with them. So that's what we've kind of done in the in-between. We are actually getting ready to relaunch in person for the first time this next Wednesday. So what we were doing is we were thinking about how we want to re-engage. I know that our team was really just thinking about what is something that we can strip away that maybe was maybe not working as good as we thought it was, and what can we do better? And so that was kind of really what I'm telling you, we prayed more than ever before, that the Spirit would just really give us wisdom on how to just move forward. And so as we were doing that, I just kept thinking about how, through this pandemic, it's like we've all have this wound, we all have this hurt, this stress, this whatever that pain is, and it's like literally this COVID pandemic has just literally ripped unexpectedly that Band-Aid off. It's just come off, and that wound is just open and raw, and everybody just is feeling it and seeing it. And so what people have done, and we've really seen this with our students, is they've either leaned in and pushed into that pain and really pushed into their faith and, God, what do you want to do through this? How can I push through this? Or they've just run and gone the other direction and just hid and just tried to run from that pain. So through that, we were like, how the students who are pushing and leaning in and really just thriving through this, what are they doing? And we realized two things that those students were really doing. And one was community. They had a solid community. They were staying connected with their small group leader. They were staying connected in community. And that was a huge piece of it. Two was they had an intimate personal relationship with Jesus, where they knew how to read their Bible, and they knew what to do with it, and they knew how to pursue him in their faith by themselves without having to be in the building and have other people kind of showing them. And so what we've done is we've restructured our student ministry structure and our program, and using some of the things that we've done, but kind of restructuring it. And how that's going to look is we're going to start the first of the month. We are going to stick with kind of like that Tribes Live feel, where they can bring their friends, and it's this time, and it is a little bit more program driven, but then weeks 2, 3, and 4, we're switching it up, and we are changing it to where it's going to be all about community and all about how can you grow in your faith. And so what that's looking like, we're doing something totally unconventional. We're not preaching. We're not preaching from stage. We're going to have the students do that in their groups. In their groups, they're going to have time, that first 30 minutes in their group. We're switching and giving them that extra time, and that's going to be allowed into their group. So they're going to have an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half to be in their group, where they will have time to have fun. Because here's the reality: without fun, you can't build trust. You can't grow deep. You have to have that fun piece. So we're going to have fun, create that community. They're going to then switch into a time where they're going to look at a chapter or book of the Bible, and they're just going to look at it, and they're going to look together and just study it together and just break it down. And what does that mean? And how can I apply that to my life? And then we're going to actually take time at the end and really spend time, 5-10 minutes, of bringing that connection piece and that growth piece and combining that together and praying and really just creating that community. So, and another layer of that is we want to create another layer of community. So our ministry is tribes. So we are going to, and their small group is their tribe. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create another team. It's another community that they're going to be a part of. So our ministry is going to have teams that they get to be in with a team, another large tribe that they can be a part of, that has 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, that they can be a part together, and this 12th grader can mentor this 9th grader, and so that's going to be a part of our 4th week. So we're really excited to see what God is going to do with this, just to see, sometimes we have to think outside of the box.
That's right.
And sometimes God can use those ways to just change lives. So
wow, that's exciting. I want to be a part of your group. That sounds so cool. And what I love is, I think there's some places that they're still trying to figure out what to do, because they've been waiting to go back to the same thing to do. And I love that you are ready to relaunch. You've still been doing things. It's just that now you're ready to relaunch and have that deeper connection. Like you said, that's fantastic. And then also building that personal relationship with Christ, and still still the gospel being the center focus, and yet the students are going to have that 90 minutes together. That's just fantastic. So that's awesome. So, and I heard that you say the win also. The win, you know, what is our win? I heard you say that. That's probably something that you guys have learned. I think that your win is not just about attendance. And I think for so many churches, organizations, whatever, it's all about it. Many times it's all about attendance. So it's good that you have that. This is where our focus is now, you know, and to remember your mission statement of what you shared at the beginning, as far as, you know, developing disciples for Christ. So, wow, that is great. Thank you for sharing about the relaunch. Thank you for sharing about that. Anything else that you all have learned? I think you shared a lot, but any last things that you have learned through this whole process and moving forward?
Yeah, I just think the biggest thing is to just be open to listening to where the Spirit is leading. You know, like, I think we so often think it has to be done this way, because that's the way we've always done it. And, you know, change, and we have to be the ones willing to change things. Yes. And so much can happen in that. And so I think that's been a huge thing that, you know, we have to constantly be reassessing, I think, you know, what is the best way possible. The other thing is just how important, we knew community was important to our students, and we tried to offer that, but just how important that is, just even your relationship with God. That's a big piece of it.
It is. Oh, those are such great nuggets. And I think as leaders too, as I wrap this up, I think as leaders, we get to disciple the young people that are entrusted to us, but also we are modeling how it looks to stay connected, how to stay connected to one another, and how to stay connected to Jesus through this time. We're modeling what it looks like to even go through things when they're uncertain. So, you know, as we stay faithful to the Lord, as we stay consistent in even ministry, we are modeling that for a lot of eyes, a lot of teenagers, as far as junior high and middle school, or if you have middle school or high school, they're watching us as leaders. And so this is a prime time. We may not have all the answers, but we get to lead by example. But Daneal, thank you so much for sharing during this time. I'm so excited for you guys. We'll be praying for you and Peter. And I know you've got a lot on your plate. Even today, you have some things going on. So thank you for taking the time to join in. And I'm just going to throw this out for those that are watching, that if you know, this is kind of we're sharing a little bit on how to relaunch ministries. Well, there was a webinar just the last few days that there was a panel. And if you missed that webinar, it is still on YouTube. So if you go to NGM or Next Gen Matters YouTube channel, you can have access to that. Feel free to check out the NGM or nextgenmatters.com. That's our website. Also on Facebook, we do features, NGM features. We have NGM Focus, and then also, of course, that webinar. So please, you know, stay tuned. Be sure to like the page on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd love to connect with you. And if you have any questions along the way, I know that we would be able to answer those. But thank you again, Daneal. I hope you have an awesome day.
Well, you too.
Thank you to our listener today. All right. Thank you. Have a blessed day.